Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another film review. Yay! I just want to apologize for the audio of the last video because I didn't realize it just died, and I honestly was too lazy to film again. I also want to apologize for my head today. Don't know what the hell this is doing, but it's doing it, and that's the way it is. Anyway, today we are going to talk about the drama, and honestly everyone is talking about the drama, and I'm just going to talk about the drama again, and I don't think I'm going to have much different opinions than any other person with common sense. I don't think I'm going to say anything controversial unless you haven't seen any you haven't seen any of it. Also, big massive spoilers, so if you haven't seen it and you want to watch it without spoilers, I guess you can't see this video because I am going to spoil everything. And yeah, so let's get into it. The drama is directed by a Norwegian director called Christopher Borgli. And I'm sorry if that's not how you say his name, because I don't know how you say his name. And it's starring Zendaya and Robert Pattinson. Yes, hot couple. And they play a couple that they are about to get married. She's called Emma. He's called Charlie. He's a little British weird guy, and the film starts with their meet cute. So, um, Charlie walks into a coffee shop and he sees Emma reading a book, and she has like headphones on, but only in one ear, which is important. So he orders his coffee. He sits and he's like watching her. Um, she gets up. She like leaves the book. He gets like a refill or something. He goes quickly, takes a photo of the book so he can Google it and talk to her about it. So he approaches and he's like, "Hi, like, oh, I'm really like, I'm a fan of that book, blah 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 blah." And she completely ignores him, and he starts to get like very self-aware that like he thinks that everyone is looking at him. Like the camera work in that scene is like really good. It does make you feel like everyone is looking at him. So he just leaves. He leaves. He goes back to his seat. He starts to like pick up his stuff in a very like embarrassing moment. But before he leaves, he wants to apologize to her. So he approaches and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. I was definitely not hitting on you. Blah blah blah." And then she finally turns around and she's like, "What? I'm sorry. What are you talking about?" And she tells him that she's deaf in one ear and it's the ear that he was talking to. So she's like, "Do you want to start? Do you want to start over? Do you want to start over?" So they basically like start over. But him, instead of like not lying about the book, because she basically didn't know anything and she's letting him hit on her, he lies again. But anyway, it's like a very cute scene. That like it's the basis of how they're going to relate to each other because he starts with lies, and obviously like on the second date he's like actually because on the second date, well, I guess first date it would be a first date. Yeah, I don't know what is the second date, first date. She's like talking about the book because she finished it, and she's like, "Oh, like what do you think about the ending?" And he finally is like, "Actually, I didn't read it, I'm sorry." Maybe it was on the second date, I don't know, but oh well. um Even after that, they stay together, obviously. Um, and yeah, so we know that Charlie is a very self-aware man and very anxious. Through just like that one scene where he felt like everyone was watching him. It's like, okay, yeah, you're very self-aware. You care too much about what others think about you. Um, and then we find out. Well, not we find out, but like throughout the film, we see that Emma doesn't really care too much about others' opinions. Um, and there's a scene where they are rehearsing the dance for the wedding, and um, she like she wants like a more spontaneous, like dance, like not really rehearsed. She's like, what if we just play this song and we start dancing, hee hee hee, and they look very in love and cute, and then the dance instructor is like, can you stop fucking around? Girl, girl, you don't say that to Zendaya. What the hell? But yeah, like she's more like a free spirit. She doesn't really want like something that structured in the wedding. Like she's very happy to get married, but she's not like going crazy about anything about the wedding. Um so yeah. Uh then I'm skipping very a lot of parts. by the way. By the way. Um in a dinner, they were like tasting wines. Um and they had the two friends, Rachel and Mike, and they're talking and they're drinking. They're a little tipsy whipsy, and Rachel basically pushes everyone to say what's the worst thing they did ever in their lives. She's like, "Oh, this is like a thing Mike and I did before we got married," and Mike is like, you can see him; he's very uncomfortable about that. He's like, "I don't want to say it. Like, you told me we would never talk about this ever again, and why are you bringing it up? I don't want to say it." But she says like, "Well, if everyone says it, would you say it?" And he's like, "Well, I guess if everyone does." So he does. And he says like, "Oh, like when I was in uni, I think he was like 19 or something. He's very toxic ex girlfriend, and him were in Mexico out and something like that, and then a dog started to attack them, and he used her as a shield. And that's basically like the worst thing he's ever done." Um, then Rachel says that when she was a child, her slow neighbor who was a boy, which is basically like a mentally disabled boy, they went into a forest, into a cabin with a lot of like beer and stuff around, and she locked him in the closet and then ran away when he started to scream like crazy because he was locked in a closet. And then she never told anyone where he was, and there was like a full like search party, and they did find him in the end, but she never said that it was her, the one who kept it in the closet, and I guess the child never did anyway. Um, and everyone is like, well, that is actually very fucked up. Like, why would you do that to a mentally disabled child? And why are you still laughing about it? Like, anyway. But she's like, well, I was a child and I was scared. I didn't know what to do. And then it was Charlie's turn, and he's like, well, I don't know. I guess I haven't. And they're like, you're lying. Everyone has done like something like horrible in their life. Just say it. We're not judging here. And he's like, well, when I was 14, I cyberbullied someone, and they maybe they moved with their entire family to another state because of that, but maybe they didn't. Who knows? So it's like they might have not, but he cyberbullied someone. And they're like, oh, really? Are you kidding? Like, you were a kid, you were 14, your brain wasn't fully developed, that can't be the worst thing you've ever done, blah, blah, blah. And then it was Emma's turn, and she was again like, well, I don't know, I can't think of anything. And the same as Charlie, they're like, come on, like, you gotta say something. And she's like, okay, well, I planned a mass shooting when I was 15. And then Charlie starts to laugh. He's like, ha 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 ha, how did he do it? Like, he doesn't believe her. He thinks she's lying, and she's like, well, I had a gun because my dad was in the military, so I had like a gun, and that's actually why I'm deaf in one of like in my ear, because when I was like practicing shooting, I put the gun too close to my ear, and it popped. And everyone is like, what the hell? Rachel especially is the one that reacts in the worst way. She's like, what the hell is wrong with you? That's so fucked up. Do you know my cousin is like in a wheelchair because of a school shooting and blah blah blah, and they start to get like very uncomfortable, and Mike is like, we should leave, and Emma starts to say like, well, I'm sorry, I'm like very drunk, blah blah blah. She pukes, she vomits on the table, they leave. And then we see Charlie and Emma on their house, and Charlie wants to talk about it, but Emma is still like puking a lot, and she's clearly not in like a right state of mind. She's like very drunk. So she's like, can we talk about it tomorrow? Okay. And there are a lot of things in the film that you don't know if they really happen or not, because we see a scene of the next day where Charlie's talking to Mike, and they're like, you gotta go to London, you gotta run away, you can't marry a psychopath, blah blah blah. And then he comes back to the house and he's with coffee, and Emma's like, where were you? And he's like, I just went to like pick up coffee. So we don't really know if that really happened or if it was like Emma imagining that that's what Charlie was doing, because obviously it's like she's kind of like maybe getting paranoid. um and they talk about it, and she says that she was bullied, and she was very depressed, and we see her as a like teenager, and she was bullied and she was depressed and lonely. And she said that she was attracted to the aesthetic of guns, um and that she was just like, she didn't have any friends, she didn't have any kind of support. So she just like, she admired kind of like shooters for what they did. um and then Charlie's like, okay, why didn't you do it then? Like, what stopped you? And she's like, well, the day I was gonna do it, there was actually another mass shooting, and one of her classmates died in that. So the school makes like a kind of like counseling thing, and they put everyone in like the school's gym, and they're like, just look at each other, feel your pain. And Emma starts to cry like a lot, and one of her classmates like hugs her and stuff. So she kind of like has this connection, and she feels like firsthand what people feel about mass shootings and when someone they know die. And then she like, a guy is like, oh, would you want to be the face of our, we are starting an activist group against guns, do you want to be the face, like, you know about mass shooters, you seem like you're against it, should you? And she's like, yeah. And then she became like a gun activist, and she never ever like, she threw away the gun, no one knew about it ever again. She just wanted that community, she just wanted to be part of something. And she spent like 50, they're 30, by the way, they're 30. So it's been 15 years, no one knew about it. She never ever thought about harming anyone ever again. But I guess Charlie is still shocked, and like, I guess that's valid. Like, that is valid. I think if your if your wife, almost wife, reveals that like a few days before the wedding, I think it would be shocking. Um, but yeah. Anyway, I guess like Emma tries to like start over with him like twice during the film. She's like, oh, let's just like pretend we don't know each other, blah blah blah. Like, hi, I'm Emma, blah blah blah. And he just doesn't want to let go of the topic, even when he says he's like fine with it. He's not. Like, he almost seems kind of scared of her. Like, at some point she's doing something with a knife in the kitchen, and she goes with him and she has a knife, and he like, he seems scared, and she's like, are you scared of me? He's like, no. So she's like, psh. She kind of like jokes around because she knows he is kind of scared of her. And it's like a very uncomfortable situation. Obviously Rachel doesn't talk to Emma anymore, and she's going to be the bridesmaid, by the way. And then she calls Emma and she's like, actually, I'm not going to go to the wedding. I think it's like 2 days before the wedding or something like that. And she obviously freaks out, blah blah blah. So Charlie is like trying to make peace with what he just heard about Emma. He's trying to like accept it, and obviously he's like very in a very big conflict. He's like, well, that's very weird that she became an activist, and I love her. It's just something I didn't know about her and stuff. So he goes to them and he tries to justify Emma a lot. Even like, Emma didn't really justify herself until he was like asking her questions. He was trying to find like reasons for her to do it. He knew she was like completely in the wrong. Um Anyway, he goes to Mike and Rachel and he's like, can you just please come to the wedding? Like she witnessed a car accident by one of her very close neighbors, Eli. she did witness it, but she didn't feel like any close to the neighbor, and she said it didn't have any impact on her. But he's trying to justify that to her friends. Um, and they're like, "Well, I guess we can go to the wedding." Um, so yeah, Charlie just keeps trying to find reasons to fully accept Emma and to not feel judged. Honestly, the big thing is that he feels judged if he stays with Emma. Like if someone accepted her like that, he wouldn't feel any kind of like rejection. Uh, but because everyone is like kind of freaking out and getting like away from her, he wants to feel like accepted that he stays with her, even with knowing that like dark moment in the past that she lived. Um, so she's at work with his coworker, and he states the situation like a hypothetical one, and he's like, "Oh, like what would you do if your boyfriend did this?" Blah blah blah. And she's like, "Well, I would call the police. I would get away. Like I would break up with him. Like that's so weird. That's like a psychopath." Blah blah blah. So he leaves the room like very angry. He's like mixed feelings, and then the coworker goes to the office, and she finds him crying, and she's like, "What the hell? Like, what the hell was that? Why are you crying?" So they hug, and then they kiss. Boom, they kiss, and they almost have sex. They almost have sex. She turns around, she leaves her skirt, and he's like, "Well, actually, no, he he he." A day before the wedding. Also, she's invited to the wedding with her boyfriend of 3 years. What the hell? So he doesn't say anything to Emma, obviously. Um, the wedding happens. Everyone is so happy. He ha ha ha. Emma is feeling kind of like self-aware that maybe everyone knows what she did, and like Rachel is giving her the dirtiest looks to ever exist. And then Emma goes to the bathroom, and she hears Rachel and the coworker, which I don't remember her name, but like the coworker of Charlie, talking, and she thinks Rachel told her what she did. So she talks to Charlie, and she's like, "We gotta talk to your coworker, because like I don't want like everyone knowing what I did. Like please, please." Um, so they bring her to like a separate part of the room, and she's like, "I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. He's the one who kissed me first. I didn't want to do anything. Blah blah blah." And I was like, "What the hell are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about?" And basically, she finds out that Charlie cheated on her like a day before. Um, so she looks very uncomfortable. She leaves the room. They go back to like the party, and then Charlie gives a very uncomfortable speech where he's just saying very weird stuff. He says like, "We have amazing sex, whole family in there. What the hell?" And he's like, "Emma, I love you, and I don't care what you did. Like, I love you. We're made to be with each other. Blah blah blah." And then, um, yeah, he's like, I don't know what I did that. Like, not even, I don't even know what I did bad with like my coworker. Um, and then obviously the boyfriend is like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And then the coworker tells the boyfriend like, "Oh, like I didn't want to. He kissed me." So he approaches Charlie, and he's like, "Did you sexually assault my girlfriend?" And he's like, "What? No." So they start to fight, basically. Massive fight, insane. He ends up like very bruised and full of blood. We don't know where the hell Emma is. We don't know what the hell Emma is. We go like a few hours, and Charlie goes to a diner. Um, that previously Emma was like, "Why did we go to this diner after the wedding? Like when celebrities win an award and they go to like a very casual diner to celebrate." And Charlie's like, "No, we shouldn't do that. That's like too casual. Like it's like a wedding day. Why would we do that?" But he ends up going. He still doesn't know where Emma is. And then Emma walks by. She orders her food, and she's like, "Hey, can I see it? Like, is this free? Is this free?" They see it, and Charlie obviously wants to start to like give his reasons, like to explain stuff. And she's like, "Are you from around here?" Basically, she gives him the opportunity to start over. They kind of like start over, and he's like, "Oh yeah," like he catches it immediately. He's like, "This is my fucking opportunity to start over with my wife." Anyway, end of the film. Did I just give you a very long, like 20-minute what happens in the film? Yeah. But my opinions is I think obviously it's very shocking what Emma almost did. It's a very horrible thing and not justifiable. And also like the first reason why she didn't do it is because someone else did it when she was gonna do it and she didn't want to do it anymore if someone else did it the same day. So not a great reason. But also like she was 15, she just wanted support and she never ever ever did anything like that again. She became an activist against guns. Even his dad says that in the wedding speech. So it's not like she's lying. It's like there's like real proof that she did it. Um, and it's just like she's a very different person, and obviously it makes sense that she didn't want to tell anyone about that because like why would she do that? Why would you tell anyone that you've ever thought of that? Um, and I think everyone is being very judgmental towards her. Um, I think if they didn't know, like she never showed any signs of aggression or anything, and like I think they are judging her a lot for what she almost did 15 years ago. That being said, Rachel was kind of like okay to not want to be her friend anymore, like that's okay. I think going to the wedding and just like going to the wedding still like if you're going to stand your opinion, like stick with it. Don't go to the wedding and then talk shit. Like don't do that. Don't do that. Also, I guess I just in my opinion, what everyone else did is like existing the same level of badness. I think using your ex girlfriend against like a dog, horrible. I think locking a mentally disabled child, horrible because she didn't like Rachel doesn't even look like she regrets what she did, and everyone kept trying to justify themselves. Also, like Charlie cyberbullied someone, which is like one of the reasons why Emma wanted to do a mass shooting was because she was bullied. So it's like you bullied someone, but now that I was bullied and I didn't do anything, you did bully someone. You didn't think of doing it, and then didn't. You did bully someone. So like, why are you all judging me? Um. So I think she's like very misunderstood. I think very valid reasons to not tell anyone. And then Charlie didn't want to start over until he was the one who cheated, until he did something wrong, and then finally he wants to start over because the two times Emma tried to do it, he didn't want to. He was like, "This is stupid. Like, let's just talk like let's talk real shit." But when he's the one in the wrong, he's like, "Okay, let's start over then." So he I guess like doesn't accept everyone's errors, but he accepts himself, I guess. Um, so yeah, that's like I thought it was maybe gonna be a bit controversial at the beginning when I saw the film, and then I saw the discourse about it, and everyone was like, "Yeah, Emma is not that crazy." Look, I guess like it is a horrible thing. Obviously, it is a horrible thing, but it's not like if you're going to judge her, you should judge everyone else. Like you should look at yourself at the mirror first. Because she didn't do it, and she became the best person after that. And honestly, she's like not judgmental against anyone. Like she forgives his husband for cheating on her the day before. So I guess that's it. I think the film is very funny as well. It has like it feels bad to be funny. Like it almost feels really bad that it's funny. Um, like there's a scene where Emma and Charlie are with the photographer, and she's like, well, I'm going to shoot you first, and then shoot your family, and then his family, and obviously she's talking about like shoot like photo shooting, but because I like with this like topic of Emma doing almost a mass shooting, uh, it seems like very funny. I genuinely like laughed out loud, and I just think that people who said that she's wrong, obviously she was wrong, but she knew she was wrong, and but I don't think generally I haven't seen anyone said that it's wrong. So I'm just here saying what everyone is saying, and in a worst format. So there's better places to hear my opinion. I think it was actually really funny. I gave it an 8 out of 10. Um, it's very clever. It's a very clever film, and it doesn't really say if like I don't think the point of the film is to say like this is wrong, this is right. I think they're like stating stuff without saying what they actually believe, what they think is right and what they think is wrong. Um, they are not telling you to fully accept Emma, and they are not telling you that what Emma did is wrong. I think it's kind of like a test to the audience to like decide, and it depends on the person's morals on to like decide if they could forgive Emma or not. What I know is that Emma within the film is like very misunderstood, very judged, and outside the film, I've seen so many support for her, which I don't know if it's because she's like treated badly in the film, and then you're like, I actually feel bad for her, and I think I understand her more from an unbiased like view because you're not related to her. Maybe you can understand without having any mixed feelings about the previous opinion you had of her. Um, but yeah, I think she's a very complex character, and honestly, kind of like obviously everyone is complex, but I think she is more complex than anyone else because I don't think you're going to hear. Well, I guess maybe you could hear a lot of people um the that maybe they planned a mass shooting and they didn't do it. But honestly, would you judge them if they don't tell anyone that they were gonna do that? No, you wouldn't. Because why would you actually admit to almost do that? I think what is more important about this is that she changed as a person, and I was just also very mad that they justify like everyone saying that like oh their brains weren't fully developed, but when it comes to Emma when she was 15, they were like what the hell, that's horrible. So it's kind of like oh so you say that Charlie bullied someone on 14 and that doesn't count because he was a child, a teenager, but a year older. I was a year older, and then now I'm the most horrible person in the world. Okay, I think they can't see pass through that. Like they can't fully accept who she is, and they can't really accept that she changed as a human. Um, but yeah, I think I think it's an amazing film, and I think you should watch it. And it's actually very amazing to watch it with more people in the cinema, because it's like a very it's a very nice feeling to see people's reactions or to hear them or whatever to like talk about it. And it is a very good film, and I think everyone should go watch it and make their own opinion. And honestly, if you think like what Emma did is unforgivable, that's fine. Like that's also fine because it is like a very like crazy thing to think about. And but you can also put like you should put yourself in the position of everyone. Um, but also like I just said, it depends on what other people think and where the morals stand and what they can forgive, forget, whatever. But yeah, that's my opinion. Nothing different, generally nothing different from anyone's opinion. I'm just saying my thoughts. That it's the same as everyone else. Is that kind of bad that I don't have well, it's not that I don't have my own voice. It's just that I'm too late to say it. I'm too late to say it because everyone else is saying the same. But I just wanted to talk about it anyway. And I'm sorry if it was too long of like a synopsis and then like not a lot of uh, actual review about it. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Um, and I'll see you in the next video. Like, subscribe, comment any more ideas, any more films you want me to review, or whatever. I'm open to that. And yes.